one podcast in the course by the Emerald podcast guy on boundaries and protection. If you haven't heard it yet, it's worth listening to. And I should go back and listen again because it's really insightful. Because, we can still smile at somebody. It's the intention behind the smile, right? Hey, how's it going? And energetically, that's as far as you get. And I'm still learning this, right? That's scary for me still. That it's okay to have boundaries. And that means it's okay to not like everybody in the playground. And it's okay to not have a story about it and not gossip about it. And, it doesn't have to mean anything more than that. And it means you're not going to cause harm, and you're not going to send injurious thoughts or energetic daggers that way. You're not going to project onto them. And then also, there's this fine line in the world of what I would call toxic positivity, or taking over responsibility for a situation that we might be in, where in some New Age circles, there is this expectation that if somebody rubs you the wrong way, it's just a mirror and you need to do all the work internally. And there's, I think, a lot of truth in that, except the risk and what I think the damage in that mindset is, then it goes from responsibility being externalized to responsibility being internalized, but then overcompensating, right? Well, I'm triggered by that person, or for whatever reason, I don't particularly feel drawn to that person, let's say. I don't want to play with them in the sandbox. Instead of that just being that's okay, right? Imagine a kid, they're in the sandbox and they're not jiving the person next to them. They don't want to play with them. And of course, most parents be nice, Johnny. You should play with them, include them, give them your toy, share, totally overriding this kid's instinct. Versus, yeah, that's okay for you to not want to play with them. Let's just go over here and we'll play over here. Right? No, it's not okay to throw a toy at him. It's not okay to yell or push around, right? No, that's not okay. Let's just go over here. You don't have to play with them, but we're also not going to harm them, right? And so imagine in that dynamic that we take, I'm just using the name Johnny as an example. We take Johnny over into the corner and we're like, well, now, Johnny, why do you think you didn't like that person? What do you think they were doing that was upsetting you? Maybe we need to look at you right now so that you can change whatever you need to change, so eventually you like that person. That seems ridiculous, right? Versus that wasn't a good fit. No problem. Right? Move on. No problem. There's plenty of fish in the sea. But we don't do that as adults, right? We make up a big story about it. And then the story is either what's wrong with them, and then we enter the world of gossip, or what's wrong with me, and then we enter the world of internalized gossip, where we're actually at war with ourselves. It seems like an exhausting feat, right? So sometimes it's helpful for us to remember, how would I actually handle this instinctively if I didn't have a story about how I should socially engage this situation?